Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today I'm going to be talking about programming games for the Colecovision. Yes, this is a new book that just came out. I started following a little bit of the progress, like the tail end of it, I guess, of when he was getting this book going. This is Oscar Toledo G's book, and I have a few of his other books, like the programming games for the Intellivision and the advanced programming games for Intellivision. I also ended up picking up this one. This is the programming for the Atari 2600. Now, this one I haven't really spent much time on yet, because this is not coding in the same kind of language. This is not in a basic language. This is actually like assembly code or whatever they call it. So that book I'm going to save for a little bit later on, for when I know I have a little bit more time to try and sink my teeth into it. However, the ColecoVision one was a surprise to me. I did not know he was working on this. In fact, he put out a tweet, I think it was, talking about coding for the Coleco CV Basic, I believe he called it. And I got excited. I'm like, wow, I didn't grow up with the ColecoVision myself. I had friends that had the ColecoVision, and I got to play it a few times. And, I've talked about the Coleco on my show a few times. I've played a bunch of the games. I love the games like, Donkey Kong Jr. on it, which is a really good port. But my other favorite, obviously, is Donkey Kong, the game that kind of propped the ColecoVision up above a lot of the systems of that day. Being that it's a lot more truer to the arcade than what was already out there, like or for the Atari or for the Intellivision. And I mean the Atari 2600, not the computers, obviously. But yeah, this version, knocked people's socks off. I still enjoy playing it today. It's missing the pie stage, and the elevator stage is missing the actual hard part of the level, which is the springboards bouncing. Something that I didn't even realize for the longest time that it was missing. And the other game that I've always loved, and the reason why I wanted a ColecoVision, was Smurf. I don't know why I liked this game so much when I was a kid. My friend had it, and whenever I was over at their house, I would always want to play on the ColecoVision so I could play Smurf. So when I got an opportunity to get my own ColecoVision at one point, the games that he had there were Smurf and Donkey Kong, which was perfect. Anyways, for the book, getting back to the book and the programming, this is going to be another step in me trying to make some games. I've already made a whole bunch of games for the Intellivision, and, lots of them have been released, like my Keystone Cops game, Fast Food, and a whole bunch of others, including Napoleonic Wars, which I'm going to be doing signed copies. Actually, I got one right here. Napoleonic Wars. Yes, I'm still going to be doing a signing, 5 signed copies, and I'm planning on doing a video where I actually do that signing thing, and then I will put them up for sale. Anyways, back to the ColecoVision book. I mean, yeah, so much going on right now, and I'm looking forward to what I can actually do on the ColecoVision. I know it's a similar, as to the Intellivision on the way it has like the tiles and stuff. And I briefly looked through it when I got the book, and I was happy to see that some of the coding looks strikingly similar to the Inti Basic coding. Because when you're a programmer, it's the language, right? You gotta you have the logic in your head, but you need to understand the language. And so Oscar has obviously made the ColecoVision basic language similar to his Inti Basic language, and makes me wonder what else could he possibly do. Are we going to see a Nintendo one day? Are we going to see any other systems? I know somebody was talking about the Odyssey. Like, could you do one for the Odyssey? It just opens doors because, frankly, basic programming is what I understand. I don't know assembly code right now. But as he structured this book, I'm just going to show you a section here. It's interesting that he followed the same format that he did for the Intellivision one. This is, if you can see that here, Monkey Moon. So he did this program on the Intellivision booklet, and you see there's the monkey guy, and he dives into the code. He explains what each of the pieces of code do. And there's the board. You can see it's a Donkey Kong clone. And he did the exact same thing in the Intellivision book, where, I don't know if I could find it right now. I'm always around that section because that's where the controller is. So he's got the Monkey Moon game in the Intellivision book. So if anything, you know, it kind of gives me this thing to work with, that if he does the same games in here, I can go back to the Intellivision one if I'm confused, or if I need a little bit of understanding of what's going on, and kind of compare the two languages and see what's going on. I'm curious to know what the differences are. Obviously, the Colecovision had different screen size and all that. The colors are different. There's going to be, you know, little changes here and there, but I'm pretty confident I should be able to come up with something. Now, the other thing is, and as I was thinking about this for the Atari one, if I start learning how to do Atari, I mean, there's also Batari Basic, which I can jump into as well. I was curious that, you know, for a lot of the Intellivision games I've been doing ports of Atari games or games that I played on the Commodore 64. So as you get into like some of these systems like the ColecoVision, there's probably already a lot of the games already there. So this is my chance now to start coming up with a new game, something that's like fresh, that's never been seen before. It's like an original game that I can sort of create characters, create the game, create the rules, and have it on the Intellivision, and also create the same game and put it on the ColecoVision. That would be cool. You know, it's just going to come down to I got to actually start designing a game. You know, I've spent so much time figuring out coding and trying to figure out how to get the games to work that, you know, I haven't really thought about anything new, something original. Because when you start coding, and, you know, if you want to get into coding, if you want to, you know, give this a shot, if you had some familiar background with BASIC and you want to give it a shot and you want to start programming for these systems, it is better to start off doing the ports because the game already exists. It's already there. You know the rules, you know the point system, you know what they are supposed to look like. All that brain work is done for you. All you have to do now is make it work on the system of your choice. So you can, you know, generate the graphics, you copy how the graphics looked, and then you just make the game work. But when you actually create a game from the ground up, you're now starting from scratch. You now have to create characters. You have to create a storyline. It's like writing a book or a novel, right? You gotta concoct this whole thing, this whole world, and then, you know, build the graphics, make everything yourself, and then get it onto the screen. So it's always good to you know, talk to people and see what types of games they would like to see, what type of ideas they would like to see spun around. And, you know, this is it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a challenge, but it's gonna be fun. Here's another one, Dungeon Warrior. I'm assuming that's like a dungeon crawler game. So the way he does this book, going back to the book, you know, I'm kind of rambling on this video. Going back to the book though, like I said, the way he does the games is he likes to explain the concept of the game in the beginning, and then he starts off plotting some of the graphics out to show you how the graphics are going to look, and then starts into like a bit of code where you can actually type the code in, get it to run, and then add on to that code and slowly build the game. Whether you're into doing that or not, I mean, I used to do it all the time when I was a kid. I used to always like just, you know, I'd have those computer magazines and they had code in there, or I went to the library, got the books, and they had code in there, and then you just sit there and meticulously read it from the book, type it in, read it from the book, type it in. Thing is though, when you do that, you are prone to error. You know, you read it wrong, or you hit the wrong, you know, push the wrong button, the wrong number or something like that. And then at the end, you're pulling your hair out going, what happened? Why is it not working? You know, it doesn't always happen that way. I mean, you can spend a little bit of time with detail and make sure you type it in exact. As far as I know, there's no debugger program I can run to make sure I'm not screwing up the lines. But other than that, I mean, I like to read it. I like to understand what's going on and then kind of incorporate that into my own coding, my own game, or whatever I plan on doing. So this is going to be an exciting adventure. Like I said, I'm hoping to start coming up with some brand new designs, some brand new games that have never been heard of you know, my own kind of IP, if you want to call it. And of course, you don't have to worry about running into copyright issues when you do that too. Anyways, let me know what you think. It's going to be a journey for sure. Finding the time is going to be the challenge, but because I still got a bunch of Intellivision games I'm working on, and some games I'm near the finish line, and some I've just began. So I'm gonna have to fit this in, like squeeze it in at some point. Anyways, let me know what you think. Throw some comments down below. I'm going to leave a link where you can actually buy this book if you're interested in it. It's Oscar Toledo G's book. You can get it from a store that he's got, an online store. It didn't take long to actually get this either. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe. We'll talk to you later.